Yeah. Hello, everybody. Let's do a bit of housekeeping. Let's test if you can hear me. If you can hear me, you can say hello back, please.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Okay. So,
hello.
hi. Welcome. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Fine, thank you.
Fine, thank you. How are you too?
As we continue, we have to make sure that we have a silent background. So if at any point there's any audio or visual issue, please let me know, maybe by sending a text or sending a chat box, so I'll pick it up. So I will be muting everybody now so that we can begin our lecture. Okay, yeah, thank you. Today, as part of the ongoing training started on Monday, we are going to be covering Scrum Mastering. So, and I think part of some of you have done maybe testing, BA, and some other part of the development, software development courses. So today I'm going to be taking you this week and next week on Scrum Mastering. So we're going to be doing more about Agile project management. So to start with, my name is Ben. I'm a project consultant. So I've got combined experience of over 15 years in project management, ranging from engineering to IT. So currently I work on IT security projects with investment bank in the UK. So I'm going to be taking you on this introductory class. So broadening out your knowledge or introduce for people that are new to it, agile project management. In particular, we're going to be drilling down to focus on Scrum Mastering. So we're going to be focusing on Scrum methodology, which we're going to be using more during the practical training course. So it's going to be like an introduction class, and during the practical course, we're going to do some surgery sections to deep dive into any area of the Scrum Master that maybe the team are struggling with once in a while. So it might be like 30 minutes, 1 hour. So I'm going to be part of the practical sections too. So I'm going to be coming in and coming out to help the team in their agile journey. So let's start with the agile project management. So what is agile project management? You say we are agile. I mean, something is flexible, active, maybe strong in the layman language. That's an agile guy. So something more positive, something more flexible, and maybe you get more results. So agile project management is an iterative process for to deliver a project through a life cycle. It's a way of ensuring that we have a successful project outcome by making sure that we start by delivering a bit of it gradually to allow learning opportunity. Just like when you leap before you you look before you leap, or you are testing the depth of water with your just one leg, not the double leg. So the traditional project management, which is a waterfall, does not allow us to learn properly in terms of delivery because it's boxed into phases. And you're going to complete one phase before you move to another. And during the process, a lot of learning. It is at the end of the project that you do what we call lesson learned. And that lesson learned will now be useful in the next project. So, but in Agile, we deliver a bit of it for opportunity to learn, opportunity to fail fast, an opportunity to change or even cancel the project if the project will not will not meet the objective. So that is why Agile project management is now taking over the traditional method. So the word iterative is most important here. It's an incremental, incremental, um, incremental way of delivery gradually in such a way that you do a bit of it, learn from it, and you move on. The lesson you learn in iteration one is going to be used in iteration two up to a project can get up to like 50 iteration. In Scrum, they call this iteration a small life cycle sprint. So we're going to be doing deep dive into that when we get to Scrum. So that is just an overview of agile methodology definition. So in as I've said, the agile lifecycle composed of a small iteration and increment step towards completion of the project lifecycle. You do a bit of sprint one, a bit of sprint two, a bit of sprint three. This sprint is like a life cycle, a tenor, a time allocated for a set of agreed tasks to be delivered in agile. So it's like a small life cycle during development that an agreed task in agile, the task in the traditional project management, release them as tasks and um, high level deliverables, milestones. But in agile, we break them, we release them more as an epic and story. Ramsey, when we get to Scrum, I'm going to be going into detail. Every sprint will contain a list of activities that have been agreed to be done, acceptable to the team, and they are boxed into a time-bound period called sprints. And in most teams, so when Agile first started, people are they're getting used to 4 weekly sprints. But now the popular sprint duration now is either 1 week or 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks mostly, but there are some delivery time sprint that are 1 week. It depends on how quick you want to deploy software into production. So in Agile, as I've said, it's a bit of that incremental delivery from 1 to make sure that we are learning as we are going, and we are reducing the risk of we are performing confidence, and we are making customer to be satisfied because every sprint provide opportunity for you for the delivery team to interface with the users of the product where they will test it, they will give feedback, and they will add more to change if they are not if you are deviating away from the agreed output. So that will allow you to gather feedback fast. The feedback you gather in sprint A will be valuable in sprint in two. Then in theory, they're going to be getting better along. And when you're starting an agile delivery, your sprint 1, 2, and 3, they are like learning sprint where you get used to the team gets used to the way they work. You get used to your external stakeholders, and by the time you are getting to sprint 5, your delivery capability should be predictable in such a way that if you are delivering 10 stories in sprint 1, in sprint 2, maybe 12 story, in sprint 3, 8 story, in sprint 4, might be another maybe 13, then you can now adjust that. Maybe this team can only deliver, let's say 9 or 10, and that will be based on that. The whole delivery can forecast the team capacity based on that sprint. So the iterative ability allow us to know our capability, get feedback quickly, and be able to focus and deliver value. So that is why Agile is becoming very popular and is reducing the way software projects fail. So as I've explained, so it promotes velocity adaptability. It allow us to adjust along the way as we follow the linear path, and the benefit of one of the aim of algorithm approach is to release benefits throughout the process rather than only at the end. In Waterfall, we don't see what we are building until the end of the project. But in Agile, we can see a bit of what we are building, a bit of output for customer to use, test, and feedback, which promote empirical analysis to allow us gain information on how we get better. So these are most of the good characteristics that are embedded in Agile that is making Agile popular, which is why it's been adopted across the industry currently. The waterfall project management is a traditional one where the project is arranged sequentially. In a new phase has to be completed before another one will begin, and at the end of the day, you only see the output of the project only towards the end. Let's say the project life cycle is like 18 months, a typical one. The user will not see any output to interact with, to give feedback on until the end of the project. Why Agile is fantastic, there are some type of project that waterfall is actually best for them to be delivered. Right? If the environment is stable and the requirement is not going to be changing. So we're not saying that the waterfall method is not good at all, or in most cases, the result of Agile is actually better in a chaotic environment where we don't know much about and allow us to gather knowledge of the delivery method. So in that way, the rate of success of project being delivered by Agile is higher if the environment is not stable. Or if your environment is very stable and you know your end, waterfall may actually be the best way of delivering. So that is waterfall project management summary, which is entail mapping out of project into distinct sequential phases, with each new phase begin only when the prior one has been completed. You have to finish your requirement gathering, sign off with stakeholders, business people, then you move to design. Then when you complete the design, then you move to development, which is the coding. So after the coding has been completed, the testing team will start testing. Then after there will be UAT, then you deliver into production. Then when you deliver into production, you have a feedback from the business associated with that. Change at the end when the end user are actually interacting with the product. The cost of change might be extremely expensive to change. But in Agile, where we are delivering in incremental basis, it's very flexible to capture change, which actually promotes customer satisfaction and engagement across the whole wide, broad project team. So as I've said, waterfall is a block complete before the next one. Your requirement will be completed before analysis, design, coding, testing, and deploy. Most of the bulk of the BA work will be done during requirements almost the 80% here. And we're going to be helping with analysis and also help along the project life cycle in waterfall. But you have to complete one step before another, and the value is not realized until you get to the last part. But meanwhile, in Agile, the customer can start realizing value immediately after sprint 1 and 2. I know that we continue on this project, should we close this project, and we even starting a new project. But customer will not know until when they get here. A lot of resources will have been deployed time wasted, even the business opportunity will have moved in this very fast-paced environment. So that is why now Waterfall is not really the golden method that is being chosen for project delivery. So a bit of Waterfall and Agile, and the good and the bad out of it. So I'm going to be doing a bit of analysis on that. As I've said, both methods, they are projects that are their best, their best suiting the methodology. Or we have to now look at at what point would the Waterfall be appropriate, or at what point the Agile be appropriate. So in Agile versus Waterfall, when you talk about business value, you commission project, the business, in most cases, the technology people, you create to enhance business, to enhance revenue, to promote efficiency in all the reason. Every reason for project is to add value. In Agile, you start realizing your value. The value of Agile is represented by the bright color immediately at the beginning of the project. The value will keep on to be increasing gradually up to the last point of the project. If the project is let's say 12 months, from month one, the business is getting value. They are getting software or application that they can use and test, and even be using in their to enhance their work immediately. But during in Waterfall, which is represented by the gray, the customer has to wait to the end for the money deploy for the business. Also, when you look at the risk is the likelihood of occurrence of activity happening, which might have both negative or positive impact on the project. But if in Agile, the risk of the project will be decreasing from the beginning towards the end of the project life cycle, which is represented by the red line. Why? Because at the beginning, we are getting feedback from customer, we are learning along, we are making mistake, and we are learning from it, and we are getting better. So as you are progressing along the life cycle of the project, you are having confidence that what you are building is right, because the customers are constantly being engaged with all the small incremental outputs that are being produced at every sprint. So by the time the project is going through along the project life cycle, the risk of project failure is actually decreasing gradually. But in the Waterfall, at the beginning, the risk is very high because there are a lot of unknown. The whole plan will be done at the beginning. Everything will be estimated for long-term project. A lot of things will change along, and the risk is so high at the beginning, and I throughout almost 80% of the project life cycle. But towards the end, the risk will be decreasing too. So that is all. So if you are choosing an option here, you want to know your problem from the beginning, making sure that before you spend half of your time, you know what you're doing. So at the beginning of this graph now, the delivery team, they already have confidence that they know what they're doing. So their best will come out. There will be efficiency, and there will be team collaboration. The customer will be happy to that what I'm spending my money on, I'm saying it is going to be, and there's no surprises at the end of the project, because in some cases, in the Waterfall, by the time you spend almost 12 to 18 months and maybe millions of pounds on building software that at the end of the delivery is not usable. So from a lot of disaster projects, even the millions of pounds spent on in UK, that at the end of the day, we can't use it. In where I worked before, people actually build the output, the big projects, and they will now be looking for people to use it. Why? Because they didn't capture the business value before they actually invested in that project. So all those kind of inefficient method of delivery is giving way to Agile in such a way that along the project life cycle, from the beginning. You are seeing the value, you are adding value, you are withdrawing value that are not necessary, and you are de-risking the project across the life cycle. And if you look at the feasibility here, the feasibility of the agile project is very high from beginning to end. Well, in agile team, you can't hide. All your metrics, they are displayed. They are accessible to all the internal and external stakeholders. You know your velocity. Not for every sprint. If you say I'm going to deliver a story point, maybe 20 story points, and you are delivering it, it's going to be showing on your agile board that consistently you've been delivering your 20. If you are delivering above that, then everybody will know that, okay, maybe you have capacity. If you are delivering below that, because the metrics are feasible in a co-located team, which is the best way for agile. There is a section for agile metrics where you don't even need to ask what is going on. Other external stakeholders can go to your board area and know what is going on, what has been delivered, what is pending. So there's a continuous feasibility here. But in Waterfall, it's very difficult because to have feasibility, because a lot of time is spent on planning, which are more, they are more of a paperwork and all those things that you are not really seeing deliverables until towards the end when you call them for demo. So so in agile, the feasibility is clear from the beginning to the end, right? With software. Also, in terms of adaptability in agile, because you are learning, it's following an empirical theory. You're learning, you are adapting. You are open to change. The adaptability is very high. But in agile, because you spend a lot of money, a lot of time planning, a lot of money at the beginning in the follow S-curve, the cost of change is very, very expensive. And that is why you have a change board that consists of the senior people in the traditional project management, that before you call every change control, every project governance, every PMO, before you get money for approval, you have to do a lot of documentation, you have to go to a lot of meetings before you can actually change anything. And the change has to be the schedule risk analysis of that change needs to be analyzed on the time cost. So in terms of adaptability in Waterfall is very, very low. So, but in agile, part of the principle that is driving agile is like open to change at any time, even towards the end. So this four graph actually summarize benefits and value of agile and Waterfall. So I'm going to more of a deeper here because I'm assuming that some of the lot of people here that maybe this might be their first time they are coming across agile, and I believe that there may be some people here too that they are experiencing those things. But I'm basing my lecture on people that are the newcomers so that they have a good understanding of where we're going. So that is it. So also in traditional project management, there's what we call the three quadrant in project management, which is a cost, time, and scope. So those are those three triangles, side of triangle that always pulling themselves in project management. So if you want to reduce your cost, that means you might need to spend more time on the work, or that may impact your scope. So in traditional project management, your scope is fixed in such a way that when you agree the scope here, all the requirements is the work that needs to be done is fixed. It is pre-agreed at this stage. At requirement analysis is frozen. We are meant to do 1 to 10. So, but our cost is flexible, and the time is flexible because that is subject to change in traditional project management. But in the agile, here the scope is not fixed. It's the cost that is fixed and the time is fixed. Part of the time that is fixed is what I said before in the sprint. Our sprint can be 2 weeks, can be 4 weeks, can be 1 week. So time is fixed here, and cost is fixed because you now know by the time you get to sprint 2 or 3, you know your deliverables. deliverable capability. You know that you can't deliver, maybe it's 20 story that this agile team can effectively deliver and meet the business need. Based on that, the cost can actually, you know that the cost of one sprint, if it is a 40K, you know that if you're having 50 sprints, that will easily, the cost should not, there should be minimal. Even there's going to be a change, maybe under the tolerance of within 5 to 10%. Unlike in the here that a lot of in traditional project you can have variation of up to 30%, 40% in the cost. So that is one of the fundamental difference in a traditional and agile deliverable. So in today's lecture, I'm going to be focusing more on agile, while the next lecture is going to be Scrum. And sorry, in the beginning, I should have let you know that agile is Scrum is one of agile practices. So you can't separate Scrum from agile. It's just like agile is the last name, while the Scrum is the first name. So the Scrum is a type of agile. So we have Kanban, we have extreme programming, we have a lot of more than up to 20 type of agile practices. But Scrum is the most popular. We have Scrum, Skill Agile, and all those things. Agile is like the umbrella part of the whole methodology, which under it now we have Scrum, we have Kanban, we have Scrum Bam, we have a lot of other practices. So I'm spending today more to dip us more into the Agile itself, and which is actually how the value in Agile is now shaping other Agile methodology, including Scrum. Sorry? Okay, any question?
Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Can I just quickly ask the question? Would you be able to give us just an example of a project that's already been done as a waterfall, or which one is agile, a live project?
Yeah, there'll be a live project.
Maybe like in the UK, what projects do you think falls under waterfall?
That we're going to be using. The aim of this internship is Scrum. It's agile.
Okay.
I'm not giving. I'm giving you this strong foundation of agile because I was briefed that maybe project management was not covered in this section in this training session, because before we normally have another session for complete project management where you will have been taught different methods of project management and all those things. So what I'm trying to do is to take additional information here. I'm not just going to Scrum with you guys. I'm laying good foundation for you to understand, because for in any environment you're going to meet yourself, there may be some project being delivered in Waterfall, some in Agile. Even with myself, there was a time I had the two together, where part of my project was Scrum. There are some that were being delivered in a Waterfall. So it's good that you have the feasibility and good background of both. But this training is going to be focusing on Scrum, and the internship is going to be more of Scrum methodology.
Thank you for that. My name is Tolulope Dada.
Okay.
What she is asking is that maybe you can give us example of product or project that have been built using Waterfall, and the one that have been built using Agile, so that we can know the difference. Because what I'm thinking is that the Agile, this thing, like if you want to build a car, so you start from the tire. Is that it? Something like that?
Yeah, that's Agile. See, Agile now, all software projects, all application projects can be built by both of them. You know what I'm saying? And Waterfall, most of the engineering projects are following Waterfall principle. Building your road, building your bridge, your water, building your house. Are you getting it? It's like when you're building your house, for example, you have to start by acquiring the land, build the foundation, build the main body, the lintel, the roof. You know what I'm saying? In that case, you have to finish your foundation before you start building the body of the house. You know what I'm saying? So is those are waterfall. The before you're going to get more feasibility when we go down in the lecture. Before Agile came, we were all using waterfall. So there's no any project that can be built by waterfall, that can be built by Agile, has been built years by waterfall. It's just like Agile is now an efficient way of delivering business value. A lot of projects fail from waterfall, and we're going to get there. You get more understanding towards the end of the lecture on the history of Agile, how Agile came to be, and why Agile is taking over from waterfall. So answer your question. An example of a project that can be built by waterfall is app. All the app we're using, business application can be built by Agile, can be built by waterfall too. You know what I'm saying? Even the Zoom that we are using today will have been built with maybe Agile or waterfall. Are you getting it? Most software projects will fall into both methods. But what we're trying to say now that there are some projects now that Agile is more suitable for, and they deliver value fast, and they reduce the number of failure, and they are more efficient in terms of cost time. So I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, you have. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Any other clarification? Any question? Let's be interactive.
Can you please explain what a story is and also what an epic is, please?
We're going to be, let me keep it simple. If a story is 5, epic is 15. A story is an agreed task of activity that needs to be done that will give a business value. It's like the task that need to be done, like we are building, like stories, they are tasks that need to be done for a feature to be completed. You know what I'm saying? But when you have when the story is too big, when you have an epic, it's like the high level, like a big scope. And when you break them down into story, for example, let me say we are building I want to build an e-commerce website. Then I can say that I want my customer to be able to make payment with their electronic payment to buy their items. So like making payment can be an epic. Then I can now break down that, okay, PayPal, able to pay with PayPal, able to pay with Visa, able to pay with MasterCard. Are you getting it? That can be my story, but they are all rolling up to payment epic. Do you understand now? So epic is a bigger story that can be broken down into smaller independent story. So is that clear?
Yes, thank you.
I will go deeper there when we get to Scrum. Those are Scrum aspect of the training. Yeah. Okay, so let's continue. I think we allow another maybe question as we move on. So we've covered here. So Agile, as I've said, Agile is not a silver bullet. Agile does not solve all problems. So there are some pros and some cons. Some of the pros are Agile work well when the detailed requirements are unknown or subject to change. When you don't know much, things might change. It's like technically you are dipping, you want to test the depth of the water. You don't test with 2 legs, you test with 1 leg. That is it deep, then you move your leg. So maybe you are going to use it or not. So when there are a lot of unknown, Agile is the best. When there's giving flexibility to when there's a flexibility that needs to be factored into the delivery, Agile is the best. And when you have to listen to stakeholders all the time, engaging them, get it's just like, for example, you give somebody somebody, the kind of work that the people pay for that project, you need to engage them properly, which is good. You know what I'm saying? It is agile is the best. That they want to know, they want to make sure that, are you okay? Are you doing fine? You need help? Should we want to see where you are, where we don't have conflict, where we want to make sure things does not go wrong, something like that, where you need a regular feedback. They are source of positive energy to the project in such a way that you know that I've shown you anyway, I've got their feedback, they're happy with it, my method is accurate, the method we are using, they've signed off to it, then the speed at which the team will move with the job will be very high, until when you are just building something that you don't know whether they will like it or not, whether it's going to work or not. You know what I'm saying? So the agile is better. And when the team is co-located means they live they are in the same building, but with the current climate now, co-location can actually mostly not practical. But with the help of technology, you can bring. I work in a team where part of them in New York, part in Asia, we're in Europe here. That we have to do our daily scrum around 2 o'clock, where everybody can actually participate. So technology has actually helped to some level, making team connected. Also, SharePoint and a lot of collaborative tools are making the information sharing very, very, very easy. So, and when you want early return on your investment, where you want to get early return immediately, you want to start using it. Agile is a best way. So that's one of the I love agile. Well, agile is not good when on the cons are no advantage for project where the scope and detailed requirements are well understood and change can be controlled. So when nothing will change and you are not going to allow inputs, then agile is not the best for that kind of delivery. It's going to be waterfall. When there's uncertainty around the scope and schedule can make stakeholder nervous, where when you have it distributed all over and there's no enough look like waterfall too, as I've said, waterfall has its own positive and negative too. It works best when the requirements are defined, when the environment is stable, that nothing is really changing, and when there's a distributed team and there's been high control with every management to monitor. Waterfall might be the best. When the resources scarce skills that, because in agile you have to have a stable team that have to stay together for a particular time, because at sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, the team they've gone through token call for team development from storming, norming, and performing. By the time they are performing, they are delivering. You don't want the team to change. If not, you might change the deliverable velocity there. So when the resources are not very unlimited, waterfall might rescue you there. So the opposite is the con, which is also the strength of agile. So that is a pro and con. As I've said before, I'm giving you this background to make sure that we are not just one way Scrum. And when you go for interview, they ask you, why do you think agile is the best than the traditional? Or you should be able to speak knowledgeably on agile, and you are not just throwing the water and the baby on waterfall away. The waterfall is not good at all. So it's about having the background. So yeah, so I think this will also deepen the answer some of the questions that that was asked earlier. The type of projects and methodology. In the graphical form, as I said, the y-axis is requirement and the x-axis is technology. If the requirement is from known to unknown, it's well known here, simple, it's waterfall. The technology is not complicated, but when it's complex, a lot of unknown, technology is complicated, is Scrum, I guess Scrum. One is chaotic, a lot of unknown technology, unknown requirement. I think Kanban is recommended in that. So, but in this, well, Kanban is out of scope for this training. So that is in graphical form now of the kind of project that suit different methodologies. Yeah. Any question again? Sorry. Okay. Thank you. So, as I said, why Agile project management? Agile deliver very fast because of the iterative nature. You can actually roll out output into customer quickly. You can take advantage of competition. If there's a new technology that you want to use to launch to market and take the share of the market, you don't have to spend 12 months. You can deliver within a month. You are in town. You're there. So people now, the consumer now, they want something faster. They want something cheaper. They want something smarter and better. So the slow method of delivery will not work. We are now more knowledgeable consumers. Every day, a lot of things. When time we go to our WhatsApp, things have changed overnight. When you go to our Facebook, a lot of friction has been added based on the feedback from customers as they are noticing what we're doing. So all this method of improving, engaging, and boosting revenue is what is driving agile method of delivery. So I think I've summarized the benefit of agile here. It's building it with accountability, encouraging diversity of idea. In agile, the team is actually accountable. You allow the team to, the qualified team to pick and commit to what they can do. In Scrum, is the development team that will agree that in this sprint, in these 2 weeks, we can't commit more than 20 stories. We can't do more than 20 items of work. And this is what we believe that we can comfortably do and deliver benefits. And when they commit to it, they are accountable to it. So you don't force them to pick. You can change, but as long when the sprint start, when the team when they're committed to a goal, as part of the integrity of the team, they have to deliver. Which is why at the beginning of the sprint, they have to test their capability and get the average deliverable that is possible. And based on that, they can forecast the rest of their capability along the sprint. So that, okay, every 2 weeks, we cannot deliver more than 10 items. Then that will, based on that, we can forecast the other project parameter. So Agile promotes a continuous improvement. Why? You are getting feedback all the time. At the end of every 2-week sprint, the team will meet in what we call a retrospective to look at what have we done fantastically, what are the things we didn't do very well, what are other things that we've not even done that we can add. At the end of every sprint, they are getting feedback from the team, from the product owner, from the business to get them to make them better. So it promotes continuous improvement. It also allows decision to be tested and rejected early with feedback. Feedback loop that have been provided by the stakeholder, which is not available in Waterfall, as I've explained that in the earlier. It helps deliver change when requirements are uncertain, help build client and user engagement by focus on what's most beneficial. Because they are interacting with the user and customer all the time, there's a kind of a positive energy, positive environment between the buyer and the doer, between the user, that actually at the end of the day bring positive energy that foster team development. So Agile also help with decision making, because if, let me say, you are originally you believe that you need 10 or like the website we're talking about, you can launch your website by making sure that customer can, let's say for the e-commerce website, I want to be selling shoe, I want to be my website, I want people to be able to order, able to make payment, able to view, able to give a comment, able to I want to be able to link my website to my ad on YouTube. I want to link all those features. I need to prioritize. Number one priority is I want my products to get into the market. So my picture of my product is number one feature is there. Number two, I want people to, if they like it, my number two might be they must be able to pay. So I might prioritize payment epic as feature as number two. Number three will be that I can prioritize, I might make getting feedback from my customer be number six. But meanwhile, somebody that is building that website from the beginning, that is not launching immediately, you have to wait until all those 8 features are built. With maybe you use 6 months. But you already, within the first 3 days, your picture is there, your payment method is there, people are already seeing you, you're already making sales. At the end of the day, you might say, okay, wait, maybe let me maximize my investment now. Maybe I don't even need to do all these 6 features now. Let me just do 3 and reinvest the money in other areas. So it's making you to take decision and is allow us to judiciously get value as early as possible. So yeah, this experiment, I would say analysis that has been done about the benefits of based on real life of people that have used both agile and traditional method waterfall. In terms of cost reduction, these are factual data, but I'm not going to quote the source. It has reduced cost by 9%. The schedule reduced by time spent on schedule by 33%. Improved productivity of the team by 55%. Quality of the product by 24%. And customer satisfaction by 56%. Why? Because you are seeing the customer nearly every for which you are interacting with them that, oh, this is what we built, come and test it, come and use it. So they feel engaged, they feel that they are part of the team. Unlike the old method where immediately they feel requirement and they sign off, they don't get informed mostly until towards the end of the project. So that is a kind of a metric that is showing the advantage of agile here. Yeah. Also, in the nutshell, so benefit of agile is fun, improve quality, build the right projects, feasibility, enjoyable, and all those things. Yeah. Any question again?
Good evening, Mr. Ben.
Yeah, wait.
Would it therefore be right to say that waterfall is therefore not a total write-off, since sometimes the choice of which to adopt is a function of the nature of the job?
Of the project.
Of the project, that's right, yeah.
You're correct. That will be determined by the top management team of which approach is best. It's not a write-off, as I've said. It's not a write-off at all. If it's very simple, you know what you are doing. The environment is stable. So why waste? So you don't need agile. Just straight away know that there will not be more changes. Are you getting it? So you're not going. So the waterfall is going to be cheaper. It's when it's complex. You don't know, a lot of unknown. You are building massive. It's just like the universal benefit application that the government are building. There are a lot of just like gigantic application that will cover a lot of stakeholders, people working, people not working, people marry or not marry, people work. There are a lot of those are complex kind of application that way. Some in that you can adopt agile in that kind of area to deliver part of it, and there may be part of a big program where Waterfall will deliver some parts, some features that are straight away. While agile will deliver some features and they will couple together later as part of the major project. So in a project team, in a big project, we might have up to like 14 different Scrum team working on the same project at the same time. They are doing different parts. Those are every large scale Scrum. We call it Scrum or Scrum. Some people call them fleet. Some people call them squad. where they only every squad is focusing on the feature, and maybe the feature that won't take more than 50 sprints. The job can be split into different features. You get based on horizontal or vertical splitting. We get to that when we get to stories feature splitting. So part of the job might be, okay, Agile can deliver this. Why Waterfall? These are very straightforward. Anyway, let's deliver Waterfall with this. And resources, knowledge within the industry, because of most of the governance in most of the industry has been built around Waterfall. In such a way that from your project manager, to program manager, to delivery manager, to project director, to governance body, those a kind of leadership structure. Waterfall have shaped nearly all the organization leadership structure. So it's very difficult to adapt Agile 100%. That is one of those things that is impacting reducing the adoption of Agile, because most of the organization has been arranged in a waterfall way. So Waterfall is still alive, and people are still, a lot of companies are still using it. Even currently, I still have a lot of projects around where I work that they are being delivered by Waterfall. But just telling you that, it's just like you are selling Agile now. People are becoming more Agile. So people are selling Agile. Agile is better. And I've seen even construction people now where their deliverable is more suitable for Waterfall. There's a kind of research I read about mid last year. They are looking to take advantage of some good aspect of Agile into some aspect of construction that can be useful. For example, in the construction starts when you're building your road, or when you're building your start on site. When you start on site, some aspect of before you start on site, there will be a lot of design, documentation, a lot of site investigation work that will have been done almost for 1 year. When I used to work in the construction work, if the project starts today in January, you might not go to site. By the time you are now seeing them digging the road, the work had started like in the paperwork 12 months later. So they are looking at way of adopting Agile to do those non-physical aspects, because they see that Agile values and principles are actually fostering good team building, good customer satisfaction, delivering results. So they are picking part of it into some aspects, to other industry. So if I answer your question clearly?
Yeah. Because what I think it means that we don't have to jettison, much as we want to acquire skills in Agile, we don't have to jettison knowledge of Waterfall, because we could be in a place where the management decision is to go that way. I think I understand what you mean now.
Yes. So it's more. They're not throwing it on the outside the window. Yeah.
Okay.
More question, please. Any aspect of what we've covered, any area you need more explanation, or I'm happy to help here. Okay, thank you. Let's move further. Yeah, after that, we're going to do a bit of history. So this is the history of Agile. Started with what we call Agile Manifesto. So on between February 11 and 15, 2001, in Utah. So a group of 17 software engineers, they gathered together to find a better way of delivering software and reduce of software failure because of requirements. So there have been a lot of mega project failure that cost a lot of money. So this way they gather in group, and they came up with what we now call today software development using Agile. So these are the original 17 people that introduced this change, and that is in 2001. So before 2001, we were using a lot of software. so you see, it's not still very far, but that is how agile methodology was given back to by people going on the camp. That is the picture of the camp, and 3 days brainstorm, relax, and they come up with agile manifesto. Manifesto is like when you have a political party that this is what we want to deliver. I would call it something like a standard that we need to be following now. So in that manifesto, they came up with the values that will be shaping the way software will be delivered. And a bit of history. Yeah. Waterfall has been around since 1970. That's when waterfall method has become popular, has been used. That Scrum was conceived in 1991. Scrum codified and put into use in 1995. But Agile Manifesto, they came by Agile Manifesto by 2001. So most of the technology, I think the waterfall method started from the military, or the way they deliver the engineering practice of military, or the way they deliver their activity to precise. So that is from issue. Waterfall came from that. So you can see the sequence of history of activities before Agile Manifesto came about in 2001, and that is the manifesto like Moses book. So what is the manifesto? What's advice? We are uncovering better way of delivering software by doing it and helping others to do it. Through this work, we have come to value individuals and interactions over processes and tools. That's number one. Working software over comprehensive documentations, customer collaborations over contract negotiation, responding to change over following plan, and fact and data over institution and feelings. I think that one is just been added recently. That is to say, why there's a value in the item on the right, we value the item on the left most. So that is the outcome of that gathering, and that is what we call the Agile Manifesto. This is the background, like a Bible that now give out to all the Agile methodology, which Scrum is part of it. I want us to look at something they said. Why there's a value in the item on the right? Yes, on the right, we value the item on the left more. So I've put it in more understandable way. It is not that the item of the right are not okay or they are not useful or we should do away with them. It's just that they believe the item on the left drive more value in Agile. So we prefer individual and interaction to process and to. What that means, like Agile promotes face-to-face continuous communication, interacting with team co-location, team interaction, interacting with the stakeholders, with the project owner to get feedback to make sure that, as I've said in the past, we are building things right than following a rigid process and tool, which in the traditional method we follow a lot of rigid plan using Gantt charts where we have to do a lot of schedule risk analysis and listening to software to tell us to predict the cost for us, listening to software to predict the timing of when the project will complete for us, and all those things that when you interact with people and interact with team, you can actually get more deliverable, more value, and in the delivery journey than focusing alone on tool and processes. But in Agile too, we still use tool. We still use Jira. We use Assure. We use a lot of, well, I'm used to Jira anyway, so we still use two, but what matter here now, they want people to be interacting. That's why in Agile, there are a lot of, in Scrum, there are a lot of meetings that continuously promoting face-to-face communication where possible, customer interaction where possible. So, number two, working software over comprehensive documentation. To keep it simple, before if you can be, if you are working, you can be working for like 6 months. If there's nothing for you to show, for customer to show, to test, or to take it to market, you are not making progress. Even if your project report is showing green, it's not a way of making progress. In the old method, everybody will sit in a room, read the project report. Your cost is green. Green means you are on target on cost, on target on time. Your risk is looking green. A lot of every documentation that you have to submit to management to prove that yes, this project is going in the right direction. Why? That kind of documentation is actually needed because the output of that project will not be seen, feel, or interacted with until towards the end. But in Agile, no matter, even if it's the first day or if it's the first sprint or second sprint, if you have something that you can demo means show me, tell me to your customer that, wait, just like for example of the software, the website I said it earlier on. If I can launch my website within a day or two and customer can interact and tell me, oh, so company, your picture is not good here. So company, can you get me this kind of this? People are already interacting, feeding back. We want to make payment, you can only use a MasterCard. I'm using a paper. So interacting will give you valuable information that you now need to concentrate your mind and resources on that. Okay, this is what this customer wants now, not what I'm pushing in my own plan. So I can focus my energy and the scarce resources to deliver this. So when the software is working, you can get valuable information. People interact with it as it's okay. It's not good. It's like so working software is how you can show that you are progressing. If your team is not delivering anything that to show, you are not progressing. Even if your project report is looking fantastic. Yeah, responding to change over following plan. Agile encourage you to respond to change. Even towards the end of the project, you accommodate change from your product owner, from your project sponsor, product owner, all the time, because the product owner in Scrum is closer to the business. They know what the business wants. They feel the business. They feel their pain. They know the value they need to deliver for maybe increase revenue or increasing productivity. So you need to listen to them and let them actually suggest what needs to be done. That is why in Scrum, the owner of project backlog is a product owner, not development team. The product owner that will arrange what needs to be done. Then from there, that the team can now pick the one that there's a capability for to do. And during the sprint, during that meeting, the product owner will be there. Everybody will be collaborating that, yes, these are the first 10 items we can go on with now, based on the need of the customer. And at the end of the day, PO can change the whole sprint that, guys, let's stop this. There's a business change, a business need has changed. These are the items now that they want to deliver within the next 3 months. Let's focus on these items. And that is expected in Agile. But in Waterfall, for every change, you have to go and write change reports, a change report form, pass through, submit to change report board. A meeting has to be booked, and even when you have to be approved by the board, it depends on the amount of changes. So that process slows things down. So that's why it's okay. You have to be open to change anytime instead of following the plan. Then customer collaboration over contract negotiation. It's just like I will give example of this, that there are some friends that you have that you can borrow, you can play with them with money, maybe. You can give them money, you know that definitely it's going to, these people, it's going to give me back. There are some people that if you want to give them money, you say, okay, come and sign contract. Let me put it down. If there's the difference between the two is like when there's a collaboration between the team, there's no need to be arguing on contracts. you know that this guy will deliver. You are collaborating. You are not looking for their hero. You are even helping them to make sure that they are delivering under the contract. I've worked in a project before where at the end of the project, the time we spend on negotiating contracts after it's almost 30%, where we are adjusting, everybody looking for who to blame. Everybody trying to tidy up things from their own side, that it's not my fault. As per the contract, it's my responsibility. As per the contract, it's my responsibility. In Agile, they want you and the business people to collaborate to get the best out of the team. So customer collaborating with customer is actually encouraged. Well, that doesn't mean that there will not be contract. But the contract will only be referred to contract when there is a failure that, okay, it's not like when you are taking somebody to court, that means something has already gone back. But you can manage it in such a way that you can resolve it amicably without going into that. So those are the kind of environment that Agile is actually promoting. So the item on the left is value more in Agile than the right. So, yeah. So from that manifesto, there are some principle, from those values, some principle has been developed to guide Agile, and based on that principle, a lot of common practices have been developed. So Agile is a mindset defined by value, guided by principles, and manifested through many different practices. So Agile practitioners select practices based on their need. So organization has to believe that we need to go Agile because we want to take advantage of the market competition. It's a mindset. You have to change the way you work. When my organization adopted Agile fully as part of the policy now, even up to HR, the way you recruit has changed. Everything has changed. The job description will change. The way in terms of leadership, reporting, is Agile is disruptive. A lot of organizations are reshaping themselves to be Agile. So you have to structure your team, your environment, even the physical offices have to change. The way you sit have to change because you have a lot of board now to be on the team, in the offices to display Agile metrics. So it's a total cultural change. So you have to be ready. So you can't just say you are Agile and maybe there are a lot of most of the culture are not deep. No, it's not. It's just Agile in the mouth. So it's a kind of a mindset where you have to. It's just like when you are committing. For example, people from Christian background here, you are born again. Your own way of life will totally be aligned with what is expected. It's a total paradigm shift. If you don't pray before, you don't have to be praying. If you don't go to follow, you have to go. If what you say will change, the way you at times some people might even go to extreme and change the way they dress, just to show that yes, this is me. That is how the kind of what for you to be. That's kind of a mindset of that you're in an Agile environment that things have to change, authority have to change, processes have to change. So and to that, so that way Agile is more of a mindset and a big cultural change. So Agile is defined by 4 values that we've talked about: individual over interaction, working software, response to change, and customer. And is guided by 12 principles. And it's now carried out. We display that we are Agile with many practices. One of the practices is now Scrum. Some of them is Kanban. Some of them is stream programming. Some of them is DAD, SAFe. A lot of them. So in this training, we're focusing on Scrum. So one of the practices of Agile, like this does, will now be Scrum. So which means Scrum is actually shaped from some of these values and the principle of Agile. In the next slide, we're going to be going deeper into the principles. And most of the principles they are a derivative. They are derived from these 4 values. Also, just to drive it home again, to make it a more pictorial and easy to remember. Agile is a mindset described by 4 values, defined by 12 principles, and practiced through unlimited method. Yeah. So if you can't remember anything tonight, you don't remember that there's a 4 values in Agile, there's a 12 principles, and there are many methods of Agile. That's nobody knows the answer to define Agile well. If you are able to put it in mathematical way like that, that may actually give a good impression of you that you have a good knowledge of Agile. So everything has to start from your mind, from the brain. It's about how you think, what you need to stop, what you need to start doing. So as per organization, not individual. So yeah, these are the okay. These are the 12 principles. I think my stuff is covering some of it. Right. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to make that slide more friendly so that I can go through the principle one by one. In 1 minute, I'll keep on. I'll start sharing again. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'm just trying to make it more big, but anyway, we're going to get the material, so I go through. The agile, these are the 12 principles. Satisfy the customer, that is the summary that our high priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. What this means, like, customer wants something like tomorrow. You want to start your project maybe within the 3 months. You already have you already have a tool you want to give to customer to solve one of their problems. So that is what Agile is all about: early delivery or quick delivery. For example, if you look on this slide, if I'm moving to, for example, I tell my engineer to build me something to move from A to B. Maybe in my first 1 month in Agile, and I bring me a scooter, what we call this one? A skating board. The skating board is faster than somebody walking. With this, the customer will be happy then, yes, at least this guy is building something that will be able to take me from A to B. But if it's the old method, maybe this guy is just building tire. This customer is not really aware. Is he going to get it right or not? No, I don't know. So he's not happy. He's happy customer already because this customer can actually stop working and start get at least a bit of it. These are the sample of this principle where our highest priority is to satisfy our customer through early and continuous delivery. Because if you look at it, it's delivering this board from there. The next 3 months, you have a scooter, then a bike, a power bike, then a car. So at every time, I'm having happy customer here. I'm delivering regularly and continuously. But this customer, the one is not sure that this guy now has 2 tires. Okay, the body of the car. Wow, this guy has car now. He's now happy. So you don't suspend the customer satisfaction towards the end. So you are engaging your customer continuously in Agile. So at the end of the day, it's the same car, but let me tell you, this customer is happier because it's been enjoying himself from the beginning of through following Agile principle of early delivery and continuous. Also, no matter we welcome change, as we said, we welcome change requirement, even late in the development. Agile process and net change for the customer competitive advantage. Because the customer is paying, you need to listen to the customer. If the customer wants you to change, you need to change so that at the end of the day, what you are building, you are not building for yourself, you are building for customer. As I've said before, I work within a team that the IT team will build the tool, then they're going to be looking for the type of the part of the business that will now be using it. You'll now be doing training for you that, oh, you can use this tool to do more of your data analysis. You can use this tool. So it's like they are building it and now forcing it. It's reactive. Now is the customer telling you that this is what I want. So that is one of the culture in Agile, which is why your product owner in Scrum can stop your sprint if there's a major change, or can change your backlog to rearrange your backlog to tell you that during prioritizing and grooming, that item 1 and 2 is what I wanted to focus in the next sprint. And in the other sprint, I say, okay, we're not doing item 2 anymore. It's 3 now based on the business requirement. So you have to get used to change. Number 3 is deliver frequently. Deliver working software frequently from a couple of weeks to a couple of months with a preference to the shorter time scale. So you can deliver in the shorter time scale that people can interact with. That is an Agile. So you don't spend a lot of resources, a lot of time before you are showing it. So that example too, this movement example also teaches that frequently this guy is having something to use. He's living a better life than the guy up here that is horrible but now happy at the end of the day. So then it promotes working together. Business people and developer must work together daily throughout the projects. In Agile, you interact very well. The PO, who is the product owner in Scrum, is always interacting with the customer, with the business, to know their pain points, to know what they need, the kind of what values now they need to prioritize. So based on that, the product owner is going to come to the Scrum team to adjust their backlog. The backlog is the list of work that needs to be done to make sure that the next sprint, that is what they are picking. So Agile encourages that, but in the old method, it's very, very difficult. When immediately the requirement has been signed off, even one of the terminology we are using there, that when they were saying this requirement is baseline, is frozen as if it cannot be changed. So the development team does not want to change because they've done, after the requirement, they spend like 6 months to do design based on the requirement that have been signed off. So it's very, very, very annoying or time wasting and wasting of resources to change it. So development team will just tell you it's as per design, it's as per requirement, it's as per design, it's as per requirement. So because they don't work together, but in Agile, they work together now to make sure that they are all on the same page. So trust and support. Build projects around motivated individuals. Give them the environment and support they need, and trust them to get the job done. This is applied to a Scrum team. In the Scrum team, the servant leader is a Scrum master, but it doesn't have authority on the team. It's just motivating, helping them. The team, the development team, the tester, the BA, the programmer, they determine what they want to do. They pick the item of the story they want to work on. So you allow them to pick their work, arrange it, you trust them, and they come out with the best results. Follow they are competent in. So you beat them around, you keep them motivated. So there's no where everybody reporting to project manager like excuse me, like Waterfall, where project manager will be sending email to everybody, update, blah blah. No. Here, when they go with their own deliverable story for that sprint, that's them working on it. And if there are going to be any changes from PO, the PO, the Scrum Master have to resist, have to negotiate with the PO, with the product owner, and trying to negotiate with the team. They're not forcing on them. So they are, you have to trust them and give them the right environment, which is why most organizations are rearranging the way the whole staffing method is being arranged now to make sure that there's less hardline red tape that's not making people to think. That's not making people to be creative. So face-to-face communication is encouraged. Most efficient method of communication is for development team is face-to-face. Yeah, when you see yourself face-to-face, I know that is not possible, but even with the technology, the day-to-day talking and Scrum and day-to-day standing up is encouraging everybody to be talking and listen to yourself. So it promotes good communication. Like from communication model, the initial medium is face-to-face, followed by video conferencing, telephone, two-way communication, writing on address and on address document. So the communication is the most effective as we are doing. I know face-to-face might not be possible, but with video conferencing for your stand-up and your other meeting, you are still very, very on the high scale of effectiveness. Like what we are doing now is video conferencing in one way or the other. So I know we are engaged. But if we're in classroom, it's going to be different thing entirely. You can see me, you can see body language. But we are still, the video conferencing is still very high in terms of the effectiveness of communication. So then working software, as we've said before, is when your progress is measured by working software, not by documentation. Sustainable development, agile process promotes sustainable development. The sponsor, the developer, and the user should be able to maintain constant pace, definitely. Where at the end of when you are working together from the beginning, you get to a stage where your work is predictable. You can put forecast and your output should be able to trust your output in terms of the deliverable, and the business can actually forecast based on your deliverable and resources can actually be allocated, and time, costs, and management decision can actually be taken. Continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhance agility. There's the Agile encourage best practices to be adhered to in during delivery life cycle. Maintain simplicity, the art of maximizing the amount of work not done. This is one of the cost-saving principles in Agile, where most customers they might not know what they really want. For example, what if you want to move from A to B here? Do I have money to buy a car? But I noticed that okay, scooter is not enough for me. Bike is not enough, or this power bike is sufficient enough for me. So I don't need to go for car. So which means when I get to power bike, I can actually realize all the value. So which means the act of minimalistic of doing keeping it simple, and the act of maximizing the work not done, which means I've saved money by not going and build a car that I won't get a full value of. If a bike is going to give me the full value I need, Agile, I will know that I will stop from bike. So as I've said in the example of the software, website I said the other time, if I have features that 1 to 10, and maybe after I beat 1 to 5, I'm getting different feedback in such a way that maybe item 6 to 10, they are not really what the customer are focusing on. Then I won't spend my money building those features. I would rather be building features that will enhance, engage my customer. So that is part of this principle that the act of maximizing the work undone, the minimalistic work. So it's promoted by Agile. So self-organizing team, the best architecture and requirement are designed and emerge from self-organizing team. A team that have self-organizing, they have authority, they can choose what they want, they can limit the amount of what they want to do, and they are allowed to be creative. So you actually get the best from most of the technology are made by maybe people play, not by serious-minded people. People, they are discovered when you are by accident. So you allow people to be creative, give your team free mind to test different methods of doing things. Maybe you can get a cheaper, more efficient way. Don't impose method on them. So that is let them take control and be in charge of their team. So they deliver and get the best out of them. Then the last one, they reflect and adjust, which means at regular interval, the team reflects on how to become more effective, then turn and adjust. In Scrum, there's a retrospective meeting which is actually done at the end of every sprint, where we check what has been done properly, what we need to improve on, and like the 1 hour or 2 hours meeting that you have to reflect on, and what are we taking into next sprint. Is one of the strengths of Agile, where it's source of information, source of self-adjusting, source of correction, and a source of continuous learning. So those are the 12 principles. As I've said, they are derived from the Agile, from the four. Yeah, they are derived from the four values. So, any questions on so far? Let's interact again. So you have time. Let's interact again. So, question, please. Or anything you need more information on or clarification, please. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah.
It's about the four values. If you go back to the first slide where you started with the value.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one. The next slide. The next slide. Yes. I see. You said there are four. Okay, manifesto. Okay, because I saw the facts and data in red, so I felt whether there was something you added that maybe was not meant to be there before, or you added it by reason of experience in the industry.
It's what is that this changes around. Are you getting it? With more of Agile becoming widespread and going to different aspects of industry, that's why it's in red. It's not part of the original. Are you getting it? But
yeah,
a lot of resistance from Agile where people are trying to bring other aspects into it too. You know what I'm saying? It's still a developing methodology. So people are still adding other things they are discovering into it. But that's why it's in red. Are you getting it? Fact and data.
Yeah.
Institution and feeling. Your fact and data here, let me explain why. Because you are the Agile is based on empirical theory, where you react to the results. Are you getting it? The fact and data you have when you do sprint 1 and 2, it's going to be telling you that it's not about emotion that I can't deliver. For example, let me go back to here. If in my sprint 1 and 2, the story we are delivering based on the team I have is 10, the management is expecting us to do 15. Are you getting it? Based on that fact, you know that the empirical fact is not an emotion here. You can confidently say the capacity of this team is 10 stories, it's 10 activity in 2 weeks. They say why? How? Yes. Look, first one, second one, third one, fifth one. Consistently, we'll be doing 8, 10, 11. We'll be moving around that. So we need to manage our expectation here. Are you getting it? That is why this it's like an addendum. It's not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's to tell you that fact and data too. You learn from fact and data and help you to take decision. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay. More question, please.
Hello.
Yeah, how are you?
Yes. Is there any difference between the team in Waterfall and also in Agile? Do we have the same set of people within the team, or they're quite different? The team makeup.
Some of the role we have almost role. You have in your Waterfall. You have your a bit of difference. There are new roles in a Scrum that are not in the traditional. In the Waterfall, you have project manager as the person that is accountable for everybody's work, including BA. Are you getting it? And under it, the BA will work on the requirements. The designer, the technical guy will work on the design. The developer, which are the programmer, will do the coding. The software testers will do the testing, and the UAT and deploy. So you see, you have all those one in the Waterfall. Though there are some other program manager, project sponsor that are outside there, but in Scrum only recognizes product owner, Scrum Master, and the Scrum team. The Scrum team comprises of tester, developer, mainly, and architecture. But now it's been declared that BA now they are now very valuable part of that Scrum team. So when we get to team structure in Scrum, that will be more clear. Are you getting it? So in terms of the name of what they do, a bit of different. I would say like maybe 60% the same. Are you getting it? In their role will not change. If you are doing the Waterfall, if you are a developer, you still be writing code. If you're a tester, you still be testing. It's just like what you're going to be testing now as a tester, testing more frequently. You are testing more small values than a bulk testing you are doing in Waterfall. You know what I'm saying? So then the BA in Waterfall is going to be writing high level requirement, a big high volume BRD, business requirement document. But in the Scrum, BA, most of the one might be just be writing and elaborating on stories. Small tasks, elaborating, getting the wireframe and all those things on it. So you still do the same work, but maybe a bit of it. So in a Waterfall, there's no Scrum Master. In the Scrum, there's Scrum Master, which is technically the servant leader of the Scrum team that protect them, help them resolve any external or internal impediment, make sure they have resources they are working on, track their output, encourage them, motivate them, coach them on agile methodology. It's just like that is the role of the Scrum Master. So, and the layers between the team, protecting them from external influence. Nobody can just go to Scrum team without going to Scrum Master. Are you getting this the gatekeeper to the team? Because these are the guys that they've committed to work to be done within 2 weeks. They've agreed that I'm only doing 10 things within 2 weeks. They've calculated, they've expected it. They are busy. So if you're going to be dealing with it, you have to go through Scrum Master, which is technically part of them, but they are always they can function without the Scrum Master. And in some cases, Scrum Master does not have to be in their meeting, in their stand-up at time, because the meeting is them. So, but Scrum Master will be making sure that all other high-level work like sprint planning, all the artifacts, they are okay, all the backlog. Scrum Masters will work with product owner a lot to make sure that the value they understand the value, the story are estimated, they are doable before bringing the story to the team. So there are different roles, I would say, but the roles that are not changing, the testing you see test, developer will see develop, a BA will see right there, we focus on requirement, but maybe in now a different way. So that is what I would say. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, yeah, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for your efficient delivery. Just a little bit of question, please. In the 12 Agile principle, number 7 of it, saying working software is the primary measure of progress. And because there might be so many projects of different types, like event delivery, like changing of line in clothing industry or ASDA or building construction, is it possible to change the working software to product or output?
Yes, you are right. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from now, because Agile is becoming so popular now that
Thank you very much. Yes, yes.
Other industry, they are trying to take any part of this principle to apply. I've seen a job in August last year that somebody just called me that, oh, they've seen me that engineering background, but I did some construction work or construction project manager for like 8 years in UK. When I moved to IT, they need somebody that understand construction, understand Agile, that will be able to now bring that Agile principle to help them to unlock some value in their construction processes. Yeah, in like if I'm going to be taking people in engineering this one now, I will need to change this to product to make sure that it's in their own language, so they won't think that this is not for us. Are you getting it? Maybe it's for the software, but the principles still apply. Even within our daily life, if somebody is doing something and the person is just talking and it's not showing results, you say, I want to see, isn't it? I want to see results. Once I see results, you want to see that something I've paid you for is working. It's not that I'm doing it, I'm writing. No, it's not about the reporting. Is it working? Can I test it? Can I touch it? Can I interact with it? You say yes, that you know that the person is confident that, okay, it's making progress. Just like maybe you take your car to mechanic, have a lot of this, is calling you this and that's okay. Can I come and take my car now? Can I drive it today? If it's not giving you straight answer, you know that it's not really progressing. Say, oh, our work is really progressing. Where are you? How many of it have you done? Which one of them can I use now? It's as basic as that. It's not about telling me that, oh, we are making good progress, this and this. It's in the waterfall, because the way waterfall is structured, there's no way you will show that it's working, because it is towards the end that the output will now be assembled. Just like this is my car. You can't say, they say we'll make body today. We'll say, okay, let's hope the body will work. We'll make tire. Okay, but we'll make car. You say, oh, this is the car. You see, this guy now is now happy. At the end, is here. You don't know, it's not sure. So at the end of the day, okay, happy, this is what you've been doing since. Thank God. I get it, but here, you can move from A to B now. If you want to use it, even you can test it. I'm in the level of bike now. Are you getting it? So that is what it the old stuff, the working software principle. So it's applicable everywhere. It depends on how you see it. Yeah. So, yeah. Any other question? I want us to be interacting. Let's no, there's no stupid question in Agile. When you're an Agile team, you're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to express yourself. It's part of empowering and a self-organizing team. You're allowed.
Yeah, I was wondering. Hello. How much of documentation is done in Agile as compared to Waterfall?
That's as minimal as possible, and that will depend on organization preference too. Are you getting it? And policies. So, but it's as minimal as possible. Like for example, now in let's say the requirement, the typical BRD might be like up to like 40 to 60 pages. Business requirement documents that you need to do as a BA at the beginning. You have to capture all those things. So, but in Agile, my style, the work might just have just maybe 10 pages of high level requirement that is, okay, this high level requirement, let's move it to our epic now and start looking at it, that we are sure that we're doing this, so you're moving on. So you're not waiting until you write the whole, at the end of the day, by the time you now combine everything together, that may be up to that original size, but you are doing it with value. So it's as minimal as possible. And part of the changes, like teams should always try to not reject, to collaborate, to agree on as simple as possible. as required. Yeah.
So who does the documentation in Agile?
It depends on what you do now. It depends on your role. Every role has their own bit of documentation that needs to be done by them. Are you getting it? Even if you're a coding, if you're a programmer, there are a lot of there's some guidances you have to follow. You know what I'm saying? As a BA, you have to write your requirement. That's what in like most of the artifacts, like on-down charts, progress report, that be done by the Scrum Master. The backlog and the high-level work breakdown system structure, high-level work that needs to be done. That will be done by product owner and Scrum Master together. So every role they have their own document responsibilities.
Hi, I have a question, please, Ben.
Yeah.
So when you were explaining the Agile Manifesto, you referred to it at some point as the Agile values as well. But I know from reading that there's actually other Agile values. So when you have the focus, openness, respect, and the like, so how do you kind of differentiate between those? Because I thought those were values and the manifesto was just a manifesto.
Oh yeah, so those are Scrum values. Those are Scrum values.
Scrum values. Oh, okay. And this is under Agile. Okay.
No, I've said before that Agile has a lot of way of doing it. Which one of these does what? Scrum, isn't it?
Scrum, yes.
Just one. Agile is like first name. It's like last name. A lot of last name. One last name with many first name. One of these dots is Scrum. So under Scrum too, Scrum is not going to be using all the 12 principles. Do you understand?
Okay, so those values are under the Scrum. They're the Scrum values.
They're the Scrum values because if Agile has a lot of unlimited number of practices, all the practices have all the 12 principles and 4 values. They won't be different. Then. Are you getting it?
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Thank you very much.
At some point, I will just take maybe 2 or 3 of it and use it. When we get to Scrum, there are some Scrum values that like respect and all those things. Those are under Scrum. If you go to Kanban, they have their own extreme programming.
Okay. Right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
But they'll be a success.
Hello, Mr. Ben. Hello. I have a question. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question, Mr. Ben. Would it be exactly right to say that Agile is limited to IT and engineering project management, or is it adaptable for broad spectrum of projects?
I use Agile in my house to run my kids. As I've said now, Scrum just picks some principle of Agile to form Scrum. Are you getting it?
That's right, yeah.
It's adaptable anyway, even in management.
Okay, that's clear.
One that will work for you.
Okay, that's cool.
Excuse me, Mr. Ben. Hello, Mr. Ben.
Oh, hi, how are you?
Well, thank you. I'd like to ask, how from Scrum Master you can become an Agile coach?
From someone to become an Agile coach?
Yeah, because I think you have to know Agile properly before you can become a coach.
Yeah, a Scrum Master is like Agile coach for their team. So a Scrum Master, it has a coaching responsibility. Are you getting it? For Scrum team. So the Scrum Master can become before there's this earlier like 2 or 3 years ago that maybe Scrum Master that is senior than Agile coach or Agile coach that's senior than Scrum Master, but it's a bit of that discussion going on. But for a particular squad, a squad of the Scrum consists of at least between 9 and 12 people. Are you getting it? Working within that squad in terms of learning, coaching them on agile. The Scrum Master owns it. It's just like the Scrum Master is if you use a church example, now I like to use church because this is a platform from church. Your pastor, are you getting it? The pastor teaches the Bible every weekend, every Sunday. They have to guide us on Simon, on the way we do. So at the end of the day, all the usher will do what they want to do, the drummer will do their own drum, the choir will sing, the people that want to pray, it's all church services. So the Scrum Master owns the process. So he's the owner of the Scrum process. So he has to teach new member that doesn't know. Like somebody that is doing a Java developer might not really might very good at Java, but Islam doesn't really buy this idea of a new Scrum that is like disruptive. If you bring that kind of person to the team, it's responsibility of the Scrum Master to make sure that that guy has good understanding and then the benefit of Agile, how the Agile will help him in the way to make him better developer. Are you getting it? So the Scrum Master is a coach for the Scrum team.
That's a perfect answer.
Okay, any other questions?
Yes, please. I have a question. Okay, so like a project manager would have different kinds of reports they give, like status reports, all the tracking and everything. So what are the reports a Scrum Master is expected to produce?
Daily, because there's what we call Scrum Artifacts. Are you getting? Those artifacts are the output that the Scrum Master has to be producing all the time. One of it is called the Bundan chart. The Bundan chart, when we get there, the Bundan chart is like showing, let's say, let me keep it simple. Let me look at this. I want to make my charts to do understand. Okay, let's see let's say, I'm using adaptability now. At the beginning of a sprint is an agreed delivery time scale of 2 weeks. We have 10 stories to be delivered. If my day one is here, can you see my cursor?
Yes.
My day one, I have 10. Day one, my team they were able to complete 2. It becomes 8. By day 5, so it's going to be burning down gradually until day 10, when I won't have anything to deliver again, which is going to be 0. Are you getting it? So every time, I'll take time to explain when we get there. I don't want to jump to other lecture that we're going to be covering that next week. Every time, the Scrum Master needs to be updating this chart to keep to agree to agile principle of feasibility here, which may everybody will know where, this team, where are they? In 2 weeks, they still have, they committed to 20 stories. This is we are in, after 1 week, they are still on number 18. You will know, everybody will know that this team may not deliver. Do you understand? Or they have a problem. So the risk is actually seen quicker. So Scrum Master is going to be updating the charts, which is going to more of updating the progress. So it's one of those things. Then the sprint backlog, Scrum Master is going to be review it. Sprint backlog are the list of work that need to be done in a sprint that has been agreed. We're going to be making sure that it's accurate, it's testable, it's estimatable, all the admin and other checking. Scrum Master is going to be doing that too. Are you getting it? In addition to other artifacts that Scrum Master is going to be working, when we get to Scrum, I will cover those one in detail. So Scrum Master have some documentation responsibility, but they are not every one. Are you getting it?
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see how more. Let's yeah. I think I want to limit what we are doing today. I don't want to pump too much out. What I've done today is to give a good understanding of Agile. for everybody. Because a lot of people, they don't know difference. They say Agile Scrum, Agile Project Management, Agile, they don't know difference between Agile and Scrum. I've seen someone that have come to me that I want to learn Scrum Master. I want to learn Agile. It's about knowing what is Scrum, what is Agile, where you can differentiate. Some people, your own might be even Kanban. I don't want to know Scrum, I want to learn Kanban. I want to learn Agile Kanban. So to know that Scrum is just a practice, is a type of Agile. So an Agile is the grandfather that has all the principles that all of them are drawing to carry out their practices. These are another pictorial representation of the 12 principle. The customer is satisfied by the plan is always green. Welcome change. When I tell you that you have to stop and add more, you have to be smiling. Frequent delivery. There is a sprint 1. I've done 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every sprint I'm delivering 3 story. So working together, you are collaborating. Yeah, trust and support, face-to-face conversation. Yeah, face-to-face talk. It's always very applicable. Working software, then sustainable development. That okay, the output graph is fluctuating, but it's showing some consistency. Then control attention, keep it simple. Out of this is my best one, number 10. Out of being minimalistic, just do the work just in time. That's out of maximizing the work that you do need to do. Self-organizing, you are in control of your team. You are not on every hand leadership. Even the Scrum Master does not have power on the team. Just a servant leader. So just encouraging them, coming like when they have problems, okay, let me solve it, prevent people from solving them. They determine and do their job. So if they're having problem, what kind of area don't you, okay, you don't know this, I will find somebody to get you, okay, you have this, you need these applications, you need this, so making sure that is, they call it impediments, to make sure that you're talking about the impediment. Then reflecting and just like a scrum, like a rugby, you come together as a team and plan. So I think there's yeah. So that area, yeah. Another one is like I said, sprint 1, 2, 3. Why Agile is so good is like at every retrospective, which is that meeting where they have at every sprint, they sit together and do this meeting called retrospective. Any feedback is going to sprint 2. Then during the 2, you do it again, go to 3. So continuous like that. So you're going to be getting better.
Excuse me, Mr. Ben.
Yeah.
At what point does the stakeholders get involved in the review?
Yeah, the stakeholder, they get involved during mostly during the product demo. So really, there's the responsibilities for the team. There's another meeting where you're going to demo the demonstrate demo product. Yeah, we're going to cover another in next call. So in the next lecture.
Thank you very much.
So what is the time now? This is going to be our last slide. So I just want to send all the message I've been saying to send it home that Agile is a very big umbrella. Under it, there are a lot of practices. So under it, there's a lightweight approach, there's heavyweight approach. Scrum is number 1. Lean software development, Kanban, extreme programming, continuous integration, continuous delivery, feature-driven, test-driven, crystal clear. These are all type of Agile that used to deliver software. So then in terms of enterprise scaling, like Scrum of Scrum is when you have different, like I've said, now a squad of like 10 or 12 squads working together on the same project. We call them Scrum of Scrum, where they are working on the same feature. So you have to be collaborating on the dependencies or planning your work to make sure that the team A is delivering what team B will work on. So these are high-level Agile scaling. at this level, don't bother yourself with all this, and the management is going to be cracking their head on the scaling. Scaling is about just like the way the project management is arranged, where you have project support, project manager, program management, you have project management, you have program management, you have portfolio management. So high level where a project will roll into program, a program and project will roll into a portfolio delivery. So I know you guys didn't not gone through project management training. So that is it's about high level. How do we now make it mega big when we have a big vision to deliver? So this is a full approach, which is everywhere. It's at this stage we are focusing on the Scrum to deliver lightweight. So to deliver, that's going to be what we're going to be doing in the internship. So next lecture, we're going to be doing introduction to Scrum, and we're going to be firing back there. So see, you have some many minutes there. So we still have some time today, so I want to open more questions, more clarification on
Hello, Mr. Ben.
Yeah, hi, how are you?
If you don't mind, I noticed we didn't have a look at some of the slides. If we just have a look at it, you don't really need to go into details.
Okay, which one of them?
It's towards the beginning. I saw it in the PowerPoint that we've not seen some of it. Keep going back, please.
There's some slide I just put there for explanation.
Okay.
That's number one. Not touch on this. Just ask questions if you have questions. That's somebody's question I'm answering now. So I can take other question when I'm done this.
Okay.
It's just like so.
Hello.
And hello, hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Sorry, the other time you said something like that's why Agile is preferred to Waterfall. Can you please tell me the reason why it's preferred? Is it because it runs programs in batches? That is like the reason, or which?
Is there anybody that can explain that to check understanding that? I need a volunteer.
Okay, I can try.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so it's preferred because you are able to make changes incrementally. Like if you produce, if you do the product demo, the stakeholder can say, "Oh no, I need this changed," or "Okay, that is fine. You can just add this feature." So you are able to improve on what you've done before. So rather than the waterfall is straight to product. From beginning of the project, they just produce the product. So even if the stakeholder at the end of the day says, I would have wanted to add something, it's already late. Meanwhile, in Agile, you can make changes.
Okay, thank you.
And also, in Agile, the risk is going down from the beginning to end. You are becoming more confident because you know that, yes, I'm delivering. I'm in the right, it's just like when we were in school, we are giving on let's say coursework, and the coursework is so confusing that you have to go and meet your lecturer about that just to show how far you've gone, so that you are not going to left. Instead, everybody in the class is going to right. So when your teacher says you are going the right direction, then the energy will be there for you to be writing. So yeah, in Agile, the risk is going down, which means degree of failure is reducing. But in Waterfall, you don't know when you are going until the end. Really, you don't know whether it's going to work. Even the management. That's why when I use this, go to this our simple thing before. This guy knows that this guy is working. He's not a fantastic tire. He's working. He's not too tired. He's doing the body, but you see the mouth. I'm not even sure. Are we sure he's going to deliver? And when the guy now delivers, he's happy. But you can't compare the blood pressure of this guy and this guy. If you measure their BP, they'll be different. Because this guy knows that I've employed Messi here. This guy is delivering. This guy will score. This guy will score. So to be on the lighter mood, so the degree of failure is low in Agile. So I think the benefit of Agile is fantastic. This is why it's becoming so popular that organizations are changing their own structure to make sure that they take advantage that in Agile.
Thank you.
Mr. Bear, so basically, Agile work on an incremental basis.
Well, the Agile will work on Agile is an incremental basis anyway. So that's the Agile is do it small. Are you getting it? Play fast, do small, test it. Okay, it's not okay, let's change. It's okay, let's continue. So the more Agile is even, you can solve it as incremental, like iterations. Are you getting it? A bit of it until you finish. While you are gathering knowledge, is empirical. You are gathering knowledge, you are learning the process, you are making mistake early, and you are correct. Just like you want to correct somebody in nursery and primary school and secondary school, it's easy to correct when they are at the lower. Are you getting it? So that's it. So okay. Any other question? Last two questions.
The last question is that Scrum and DevOps, they are similar in approach. DevOps is working on continuous deployment, while Scrum is continuous improvement.
Yeah. Some of the DevOps.
What's the difference?
DevOps is some of the principle of Agile where you have to interact with the operation team, that is development and operation, that is DevOps, usually to development and operation, where on a small scale, large project where you are working continuously with the operation team to deliver changes within a day. Like people in the stock market, they can't wait a day. Even 1 hour in stock market can make a difference. So in that kind of area, is a DevOps is encouraged, where the delivery is so frequent, like an hour or a day, till a new product needs to be launched. You know what I'm saying? So it's a development and operation team working together.
Okay. Okay, understood. So that's the reason it is called continuous deployment.
Yes, every day you are delivering, you don't even know that things have changed. It's a fast track. It's a fast track, high speed area. Are you getting it?
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we are 8 minutes past 10. So almost it's getting late on today, so it's weekend. So thank you very much for joining today. And next we're going to be doing more of a detail into Scrum, and I hope you will gain one thing or two from my lecture today. So thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. Very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ben. You have a good night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ben.
Thank you very much.